We want to talk about problems printing ballots in Nevada County. With 12 days until Election Day, officials there are working around the clock to try and fix this situation.
Your reporter covering Nevada County, Kayla Mueller, is live for us in front of the elections office, getting answers on what's being done about this. Kayla.
All righty, guys, welcome back to it. Conservative Confucius here. We got more election news for you, more ballot harvesting, more preventing people from voting, more election integrity and election fraud issues. They're continuing to pop up around the country, like we covered with the ballot boxes being damaged, set on fire and exploded, among other issues with illegal immigrants voting and so on. So we have even more stuff going on right now. For example, let's start off with this story in Nevada. Like we opened up with the opening. We opened up with the opening video. That was in Nevada County, California. And we'll get into that in a second. Alrighty, guys, don't forget to go down there, smash the like button for me. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. We appreciate it so much, guys. If you guys can do that for me, it'd really be great. And don't forget to leave a comment let's share this video if you guys like it. Also, don't forget to go check out my merch store at streamlabs.com/conservativeconfucius/merch and my Discord at Conservative Confucius's server. Alrighty, guys, let's get to it and do it. Here we go. And so this is when we opened up with this post by Libs of TikTok. Alert: ballot printing error in Nevada County, California has caused scanning issue with 77,000 ballots, preventing the ballot counting machines from reading them properly. What a surprise.
Well, Marley and Hunter, the Nevada County elections first realized something was wrong on Monday. The next day they diagnosed the problem, but the error is specific to vote by mail ballots. However, they aren't quite sure exactly how many of the 77,000 issued ballots are affected, but they do have a plan to rescan the ones that are.
That a lot of the public is very nervous about the process, about the results.
A vote-by-mail ballot error has some Nevada County residents concerned. County elections realized something was wrong on Monday. Their machines weren't properly reading all the ballots. They called the Secretary of State and their printing service and diagnosed the issue as an ink overspray on some of the barcodes.
So you're telling me these two barcodes, this one doesn't work, this one does, and for some reason, this one looks cleaner. I mean, this is blurry, but this one looks just as clean, if not cleaner than this one. And yet now somehow microscopic things made this one not scannable and that one scannable. I call bullshit.
Some of our ballots, if you look really closely and you use a magnifying glass, you will see that there is imperfections in the barcodes.
I want to show you.
If you look very, very closely, something that the human eye can't even see, you'll find imperfections. Really? Really? I can scan blurry, smeared barcodes with my phone, and I get the website that was meant to be gotten with scanning that. And somehow a tiny, microscopic, little error is causing all of these to not get scanned. Really?
What these ballots look like. If you take a look here, we're covering some private information, but the one on the left has already been processed.
That one looks cleaner. Like there's no depth perception, blurry issue thing going on with the lens now. This one looks cleaner than that one. I call bull BS.
The problem is with these barcodes, and the one on the right needs to be rescanned. But as you can see, they look very similar.
We will go ahead and use a report to see, okay, which pages did not go through. We'll pull those out, and we mark them as to be rescanned. So we have a different bin, we have a different colored piece of paper that sort of makes it real.
Yeah, once we know that they're in a, didn't work, we'll put them aside and make sure we mark them as ones that didn't go. Like, I don't trust you. I don't trust the machine, like as in the governmental system you work for. How can we trust you to count those ballots? How can we trust the government to do it honestly? And how do we know that once our vote is put in this, area, that it'll actually be counted? How can we trust any of that? You haven't proven it to us in the past. You've made too many mistakes to be trustworthy now, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. All right. I don't need to hear their excuses anymore. But yeah, here Elon Musk reposted this. This is Attorney General Andrew Bailey has fired a brief to halt the Biden administration because they are currently trying to stop states from removing illegal immigrants and non-citizens from the voter rolls. For example, we've talked about Arizona has 218,000 non-citizens and illegals voting in this current election and are registered to vote in our county, Maricopa County. And for some reason, they said, well, we know they're there. Even the news did a whole story on this. They know the 218,000 are there, but they're not going to remove them until after the election. And that's what seems the Biden administration is trying to get them to do, is to keep them in the system until after the election, which is obviously a ploy to make sure that the Dems win the election illegally. And they'll say, well, technically it wasn't illegal. They were registered voters, blah, blah. That's going to be the lie you hear after the election if they win. You're going to hear that, Republicans are just making up stuff about illegals voting, and yet they'll say technically they weren't illegal. They were registered to vote, and the state and the courts said they were legal. You're just blah blah blah. It's going to be all of that gaslighting and bullshit that we hear all the time. Yeah, he's partnering with 25 other states to fight for election integrity. I like to hear that, but Biden administration is corrupt. Who knows it'll ever go through. It's from Ian Miles Chong. This filth, Charlotte Clymer, a trans progressive of the left. His organization was just caught running a voter suppression scam by sending text messages to people in Pennsylvania who were voters, informing them that they had already voted. And he has previously done this before. He did this in he's also doing this in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and where I live in Arizona. And I know this because I received one of his texts, but not about I had already voted, but the one before that they were doing back in like August and September, where they were messaging people, you are not registered to vote. And I got one of those, and I was like, that's not right. I voted in my primary. I voted it in my 2022 election. I know that I'm registered to vote. That's bullshit. And I was right. This turned out, and I'd never seen their company before, but I get so many political texts. I just deleted it. I was like, oh, it's just another political thing to try to get me to engage with them, whether it's for money or for this or for that. I was like, whatever, delete. I always just delete the political text, even if it's from a Republican. I don't care. And so this Philadelphia Inquirer did a whole story on this person about how they're, they are they were flagged as a scam and to be avoided and ignored. Repeatedly, they were flagged. If all vote sounds familiar, it's because the nickname was linked to other confusion sowing text campaigns in the lead up to this election. Montgomery County officials in August warned voters about All Vote. That was texting registered voters and falsely claiming that they were not registered to vote. I got one of those texts. Part of a scam to capture personal, sensitive information from voters in an attempt to exploit them later on, election commissioner said. So this is coming from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Philadelphia is a very liberal city. So, and I'm not sure about the Inquirer, but I think they're left leaning. And I mean, just look at this person. They look disgusting. They look like a freaking monster from a horror movie. Like, seriously, this person looks like, if you took the makeup off that, what's that clown from, not It, but the other one, the Terrifier or whatever. If you took the makeup off the Terrifier, I think that's what it's called, the clown with like all the black and white makeup. That's what it would look like. It's terrifying, literally. And so if you remember back a while ago during the beginning of the Harris campaign, there was a Zoom for Kamala thing that went viral, and he was in this, even though he's not a woman at all.
Folks,
by the way, he's also been accused of he was kicked out of other movements and was accused of being violent towards women. And then so this is when he was identified as a man. Since then, he has re-identified and rebranded himself as a woman named Charlotte, who advocates for abortion.
My name is Charlotte Clymer. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a writer and activist, and I am so excited to be part of this historic gathering of women across the country. Now, look, I'm not going to repeat to y'all what the brilliant and eloquent women have stated before me, and nor do I have the eloquence and brilliance of the women who are going to speak over the remainder.
You don't have eloquence or brilliance, and you're not a woman. So all three things, you're just exempt from those because you're not eloquent, you're not brilliant, you're not beautiful, and you're not a woman. It's all four things. And yeah, this person is ridiculous. He said about this is posted by Andy No, the kind of on the ground journalist who covers a lot of Antifa stuff. He told him after he suffered a brain hemorrhage because of being attacked by Antifa and other leftists. This person said that he should, because of his social media posts, he should be sought out to be assaulted by Antifa. So already after being assaulted, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This person is a violent, angry, trans activist. That's, one of the people that you could say is part of Trantifa. It's just ridiculous. Like, look at the nasty, they just look like an awful, miserable person. More from Andy now. Oh, sorry, this is the same one. Okay, so this is from checkmyvote.org. 82,647 people voted in 208,075 times. That's 2.51 votes per person. 125,428 fraudulent votes. This is a citizens voter roll monitoring toolkit in Michigan, Ohio, and Tennessee. Daily absentee voters obtained from Michigan, and this is B-O-E, I'm not sure about that, shows multiple votes being cast by many individuals from various jurisdictions across county lines. The graph shows a steady increase in multiple votes leading up to October 28th, at which point it reached a high of 82,647 voters cast a total of 208,075 votes and excess of 125,428 votes. That's the average. That's an average of 2.51 votes per person. However, multiple voting history days appear to have been scrubbed off, all but one voter, according to 1029 report. So you have right here, you have the date, but then here over the weekend, because there's no weekend data, it seems that for some reason, as you can see here, it's about double every time. 1,020, 1999, 1,800, 3,205, 2972, 5436, 3,232, 5,806, 4,033, 7,363. And then out of nowhere, it jumps on 1028, all the way from that to 82,647. And that's how many times, these are the excess voters. So this is the voters, this is the excess number of illegal votes that were counted. And then you can see these every time. So it's double, basically, almost every time, a little less than double every time how many votes were counted per voter. And then here you have a total of 2.51 votes per person on average. I mean, this is just insane. And you have people who are now being suppressed from voting by shutting down voting centers illegally early. So they're supposed to be able to vote in this state, particularly in these centers. The state has it set where if you're in line by 4:30, you can vote. And they're shutting down the lines now at this center and a couple others way early. One, they shut it down. They said, even though you're in line already and you have been before 4:30, we're cutting the line now and you have to go. So some people set their days apart so they can vote. So if say, because there's early voting, they say, okay, well, I can get off work this day and I can go vote, or they can take a day off or whatever, make their, put one of their off days on a voting day. And because they do that, they need to vote that day. And if they don't, they might not be able to vote because they have work or something. So it's ridiculous that this has to happen. What we need is one day voting, and it needs to be a national holiday so everybody can go vote. And that's it. I mean, I would be even okay with 2 days voting if both days are national holidays. That's it though. I mean, these people, they cut the line and said, well, yeah, you guys have been here before 4:30, but we're actually cutting the line at 1:45. So it doesn't matter, even though it's not 4:30, you're going to be like, if you weren't here at 1:45, then we're cutting you out from the line today. This woman freaks out. Not really freaks out, but she gets mad.
I just want you to talk to this gentleman.
We have the right to vote until 4:30.
I get you.
Why is it closed?
Let me explain it to you.
Please.
Okay. This process is very slow and grueling.
Really? Because this state and other states are able to count their votes especially from voting day. They can count it on voting day on November 5th. They can count the majority of them or all of them within 24 hours. And it's ridiculous how they can do that, but they can't run a single election in this, like on this voting center, which is in a more conservative area. Somehow that one is the conservative areas in Pennsylvania are the ones having the biggest issues. That's bullshit. Again, it reminds me of what's going on in Arizona. They just came out and said that they aren't going to have the votes counted for 10 to 12 days when that has never been in the history of any Arizona election taken that long. They've taken, an extra day, but never more than 2 days. That is insane. 10 to 12 days. And you tell me there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing going on there. We should trust it, even though it's never happened in our election before. That's what they told us in 2020, even though they're doing all these different things that never have been happening during election time and these laws that have never been used before. Well, we're going to put those in place and you just need to trust the system. No, screw that. Our whole country was built on the ability to question things. And you're telling me that questioning it is now wrong? That I'm un-American because I question my elections, which is literally a founding right of this country. It was one of the main things the founding fathers wanted us to do, was question our elections.
It doesn't matter if we're online.
Very slow and grueling.
It doesn't matter if we're online by 4:30. We have the right to
Why
vote.
it had to close was because a high volume of people wanted to do this.
So
Slow and grueling.
Really, there's like 30 people in line. I've seen lines out the door and around the building, and they still let people vote. Like, don't tell me this is a long, slow, grueling line. It's really not.
Well, then they have to wait till everyone's.
They had to cut the line at 1:45.
They cut the line at 1:45.
1:45.
Ridiculous.
You hear that, everyone? They cut the line at 1:45. This is voter fraud, by the way. No, it's not. Yes.
It's not fraud, it's voter suppression. But yeah, I've never heard of this group before, Voter Protection. I don't know who that is or what they don't sound like any legitimate organization. It looks like some self-funded thing.
Yes, it is. Oh, voter protection. I heard about that on X. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Contact
Voter protection. Let's see what that's
Contact
from.
the county commissioners to complain.
This is
The voting is closed right now.
is closed.
I just want you to talk to this gentleman.
We have the right to.
This is just ridiculous. Another one. Where is it? My bad. I had a second video for you guys about that. Let's see. There it is. This one was posted by Marjorie Taylor Greene. You can see they're blocking them from entering, only letting people leave, even though this is before 4:30 as well. And it's another outside of Pennsylvania. I think it's in Brooks County or something like that. So it's in like outskirts of Philadelphia. Remember correctly, Bucks County, PA. So yeah, I think that's outside of. It's either outside of Pittsburgh or outside of Philly. I think it's outside of Philly. So yeah, I think it's outside of Philly. I think it's by Westchester, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've lived in Pennsylvania. But yeah, you can see they're not letting anybody in, even though people are in line waiting. And people posted this video saying we're having issues getting in. We don't know why we can't get in. And it's going to continue like this until people stand up and do something. I mean, this is from I Meme, Therefore I Am. And I wanted to go over something that happened to me in 2020. Even though I voted for Biden then, I was not fully done with my political journey. I didn't really like Biden, but I didn't like Trump more at the time. And I was stupid for voting for him. Right after the election, I regretted my decision literally less than a week. I kind of like realized people lied to me about Trump. Someone sent me some videos about all the things that people said he did that he didn't do. And there's proof in the videos. And I was like, okay, I'm wrong. I shouldn't have done that. And I was so mad at myself for doing that. But I received during that election, I thought it was very odd. And I knew there were some issues with the election, even though I voted for Biden. I received a total of 3 ballots that were not mine. One for the original owner who died 2 years prior, the owner of my house I was renting. The next one was a person who had been there and rented about 3 or 4 years ago. And then the last one was the person who rented right before me. I asked the people who I rented from, and they told me who these people were. They told me that the woman who owned the house originally has been dead for 2 years. And the other 2 people haven't lived in the house for quite a while. One of them hadn't lived there for 3-4 years. And for some reason, I'm still receiving their mail, mainly just their ballots. I didn't really receive anything else other than like some scam mail where you just get coupons filled in a, an envelope. I got one of them. I received that a couple times. I never received anybody else's mail other than one of them. And it was very little, like I just said. Yet I just destroyed them and threw them away. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't trust, giving them to anybody so they could be used for fraudulent purposes. So I destroyed them. And this is happening to this woman. None of these people live or have ever lived at her apartment. Her apartment manager has already confirmed that. And all of them seem to be Muslim men, majority wise, for the ballots. And she received 9 on one day, took them to the post office, gave them to them. The next day she received 7 more.
On Friday, Jamie Visaya says she went down to check her mailbox.
There was about 9 voter registration ballots that were not mine.
Wow.
So I thought that was strange. So I ended up returning them to the post office here.
But to her surprise,
again last night,
there was another stack in there. This time 7 different ballots.
Long name Muhammad. Last name Mustafa.
So you can
She
see
only
these are
lives in a
Muslim men.
2-bedroom apartment. Most of the ballots are addressed to different last names, but all have one thing in common: her unit number.
Management said no one's lived here for 3 months.
Maybe the people who were registered at her apartment before.
No, because there's no way that 16 people have been registered at one apartment in the last however many years. Like she even says that she talked to her manager and showed them the ballots. And the person said, oh, well, no one's lived here in the last 3 months. But that also means that she looked at the ballots to see the names. And she would have said, oh, this person used to live here. That person used to live here. So you can see just by the conversation and just listening to her that they never lived there. It's just the news trying to make it look like come up with an excuse because they're left leaning for maybe they used to live there. No, they didn't. She would have been told that by her apartment manager when she showed them the ballots. They just said, well, no one's lived here in the last 3 months. She never said anything about the people there on the names. So obviously she knew that those people didn't live there. Not only didn't live there, but they hadn't even rented it previously. So it makes no sense.
Didn't update their address through USPS when they moved.
That's
Why
bullshit.
didn't I get all of their...
Why are they mostly Muslim men on these names? Why are they they're most likely non-citizens or illegal immigrants? And this is just an address they put down or someone else put down for them. Like literally there were people who were registering people to vote. And when they were registering illegals to vote, it was there. I covered this video previously. One was at a gas station. One was at a post office. One was at a bar. One was at a hotel. One was at a couple other stores and just random businesses. And yet, like, they'll do that crap. They'll write down people's addresses that, are not connected to them in any way, but they just pick an address and then register multiple people to that address. And it's a continuing issue that multiple states are working on right now. Even Democrats are like trying to do something about that because they know that you can't just have one person at multiple homes or at any businesses. You're not allowed to register to vote for a PO box. You're not allowed to register to vote and get your ballot at a bar, a hotel, anywhere. It has to be a legitimate address, a residence.
Or other mail forwarded here, or junk mail, or anything like that.
So she's never received any other mail from them, just the ballots, nothing else.
County Elections Chief of Staff Kendall Hodson.
That's how you know they didn't used to live there, because if they did used to live there and didn't change their address, she would have gotten something else before that. Like I had gotten some, kind of scam mail coupons and stuff from the other people, but like she's got nothing like that. Not even a postcard. I got a postcard and some scam like coupon mails. That's it. Like she's received nothing like that. So you can tell they never lived there.
In 30 years of voting, I've never had that many ballots that don't belong to me,
She told King 5 they have daily calls with the USPS, so they're planning on raising this issue to them.
Would you be all right with our folks coming to pick them up from you? That's going to be probably the easiest way for us to sort it out.
Hodson also told us, quote, even if someone...
I would videotape everything, because this excuse that they give right here, even if someone else gets a second ballot, whether under their name or someone else's, will only ever count one ballot per registered voter. Really? Do I have to go back and show you guys this again? Like, where is it? Do I have to go back and show you this? Obviously, people are voting more than once. 2.51 votes per person. So don't sit here and try to tell us that people aren't voting twice, because they are voting twice.
gets a second ballot or more.
Yeah, Kendall Hodson, you're a liar.
Whether under their name or someone else's, we'll only ever count one ballot per registered voter with their matching signature.
Are you going to make sure that it gets expedited to the recipients?
We need to get them a replacement ballot. We'll get that out. If we need to, update their registration to a different address, we'll do that as well.
I doubt that.
Time is of the essence.
Yeah, this is just ridiculous. So this is in Washington and King County, Washington. It's just absurd. So, I mean, there you go, guys. If I see anything else that's important, I'll cover it again. We'll do a video tomorrow, hopefully. All righty, guys. So, go check out my merch store. We got some new, we're going to get some new shirts in. I'm uploading them, I think, tomorrow. I just finished designing them. I just haven't put them, uploaded them yet. So we got our, Super Trump shirts, girl, and we got our heavyweight one. That's kind of like Carhartt material, and our classic shirt designs with the shoulders and stuff. And then, we got the American Horror Story. We got Get Your Election War shirt, Trump 2024, with 13 stars over here, and the Star Wars logo inside. And then we got an Empire logo over here, Sith logo inside that one, and then the Empire logo, and then my logo, or my name. And then we got Come and Take It, voting for the felon. They were all felons. We got Time for Revolution with Revolutionary Trump. We got all kinds of stuff, guys. Go check it out. We got individual states with Don't Tread on Me, and all kinds more stuff, dude. We got, the religious stuff. We got, support of Israel stuff. We got MAGA hats. We got the kind of classic ones in different colors. So if you want a custom color on it, you can always let me know if you want a different color besides any of these, and I'll try to get it up there for you guys. We got all kinds of different stuff. We got the trucker hat one. So yeah, guys, go check it out. Get your slides. These are awesome. I love these. The MAGA Gang, Conservative Confucius joggers. They come in gray, black, and white, and they look fantastic. They are super comfy, and the logo is very, very clean on it. And yes, this is in gray, heather gray, and this is black heather, or it says black heather, but it's just dark gray heather. Yeah, I have the black ones. They look super nice and legit. So go check those out, guys. Alrighty, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Don't forget to go down there, smash the like button for me, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, guys. Every subscriber really counts. We appreciate it when you do that. Don't forget, if you want to leave a comment, let me know something. If you want any custom designs on clothes, if you want me to cover a topic, please let me know. Don't forget to share this video if you guys like it, and go check out my Discord at Conservative Confucius server, and my merch store, which we just went over, at www.streamlabs.com/conservativeconfucius/merch. That's streamlabs.com/conservativeconfucius/merch. Alrighty, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.